happy solar returns. This is your October 24 soul story if you've got a sun, rising, moon in the sign. This is a reading for you, and this is Romy. Thanks for joining me on my channel. We are going to open up this month with the Queen of Swords. It is an incredibly compelling month ahead, and you're going to be actually very focused at the same time as, I think at times, feeling a bit ruffled. You know, this new moon eclipse in your sign on the 2nd at 10 degrees also is activating energy powerfully with Black Moon Lilith. And there's going to be some really primal reactions that you're having to what is going on around you. You're not taking any BS, and at the same time, you know, you're also going to feel quite triggered, but in a way that, you know, you're meant to be looking in the direction of things that you have to deal with and that you have to acknowledge. You know, you're going to be asking these questions. What am I doing? You know, I need to resolve this. I need to bring this back into balance. And of course, fate's also stepping in at an eclipse energy and, you know, has its own take on events and circumstances and maybe throwing in some divine detours. So it's a really defining period. And yes, there might be a little bit of discomfort, but with the Queen of Swords, you're just demonstrating to me a willingness to actually cut through and really get to the heart and get to the source of things. And I think this breakthrough is incredibly empowering, you know. And so when we work with that shadow energy of Black Moon Lilith in our sign, you know, yes, she's going to be bringing up those very powerful emotional responses, but you also are going to find yourself having those sacred pauses and going, okay, I've still got some work to do here. I thought I'd healed this, I thought I'd dealt with this, but you know, now in this opportunity, in these set of circumstances, I see there's a little bit more, and that's okay. And in a way, I think you're quite glad to have the opportunity to sort of test yourself, if you like. We're going to be seeing Jupiter stationing retrograde in Gemini on the 9th. And, you know, this is also going to be a period of time in this fellow air sign for you to just reflect on where the expansion and where some of the opportunities in the last few months of leading, you know, have been leading you. If you feel like, I just can't find resonance with anyone or anything right now, I think there's going to be a real signal here to embark on a deeper quest and look for your truth, you know. But understand that anything that you have defined in a kind of limited way through the month of October is just being blown wide open for transformation, and that can often create some void-like energy. And you're going to be like feeling, I've been unlearning so much. I wonder what's left. But actually what's left is reforming and reshaping and really putting you in a place where you're getting so much more up close and intimate with the person that you're becoming, but actually the person that you want to be as well. Remember, this is your season of solar returns. You're stepping out with a new identity. Now, Venus, your ruling planet, has some beautiful conversations peppering through the first part of the month, trining with Saturn on the 4th, trining with Mars on the 8th, and with Neptune on the 15th. And, you know, she's really inviting this refinement, I think. You know, you want to be creating better conditions around you to help you in the places that you do need to restore, resolve, and, you know, bring that sense of balance back in and really kind of feel like the beauty and the love. Now, these dates are going to be powerful for having those kind of conversations or just being in the mood, particularly with Saturn in the work that needs to get done, right? And there is this feeling in October of work to do, okay? You're going to be having that sort of thrown up. You've got Queen of Wands coming through here, you know, so these two powerful archetypal divine feminine energies working air and fire, igniting something, you know, perhaps blowing something up, a bit combustible, right? You might have that experience with another female energy It could be two brilliant minds coming together, or it could feel a little bit more tense, a bit more competitive. You know, there's something coming up around that. But look, this conversation that Venus is going to be having astrologically with Saturn, with Mars, with Neptune, can be super supportive for you, I think. Bear in mind, we're also going to see Pluto moving direct in Capricorn on the 11th. Remember, we talked last month about how we've got these final few weeks to November 19th to really say goodbye to this chapter. So there's also that sense of urgency to really find that resolution and drawing a line in regards to things. Remember this word that I'm going to, say again to you, compelling. This is what I feel October is all about, compelling you to act in certain ways, compelling events taking place. You've got the Page of Swords here. Again, this communication going on with this other female energy feels like it's shaping or influencing quite powerfully your month of October, Libra. Mercury does shift into Scorpio on the 13th, so remember some of that communication, the way that we communicate can become quite intense. Now, on the upside, Scorpio energy can really help us to kind of forensically get to what we need to in terms of an understanding of something, and can draw a lot of magnetism energy, so what you say, how you say it, can also be really understood, and people kind of hanging on your words, that sort of a feeling comes up when we work with the energy of Mercury and Scorpio. We're also going to have, of course, Venus in the sign, and together this is creating a sort of intensity. We talked about in September there being this kind of beautiful intensity. It carries through into October, and we know that's happening anyway in the collective, and it sort of feel like the stakes are getting higher and the energy is getting more urgent and intense, and sometimes that can almost sort of feel like a bit frenzied like. And remember, these eclipses are also bringing in like sudden unexpected events, scenarios, situations. It's like, the light gets turned off, when it gets switched back on, everything is different, everything feels different and looks different. And in the South Node, we're working with what we need to let go of, what we need to release. So sometimes we can have, something suddenly exiting our life, and these eclipses often bring things in threes, so it's something to be mindful of, as well as be aware that the arc of influence that they have is over this period of 6 months. So you've been working with themes. I think it's not necessarily something that's completely new to you, but could be more that you've been working on or coming to terms with, coming to light now, and helping you to further move forward and to become more empowered as you kind of realize what next. There's definitely that energy coming up through the course of this month as well. So on the 17th, we're going to see this super full moon in Aries arrive. Venus also shifts into Sagittarius, so a whole lot of fire coming in at 24 degrees with that full moon. You've got the 10 of coins here. Might be something going on close to home, connected to family. There might be some bigger discussions taking place around something that's owed to you or meant for you. I feel like this is also giving a sort of urgency in terms of, again, dealing with something that you keep tripping yourself up over, right? Remember, like, Aries energy is in your 7th house, so it's often sort of reflecting back, mirroring back to you something in the shadow self. And you've also got that Black Moon Lilith energy really strongly activated. So being super aware of your primal reactions and what comes through on a trigger point with your emotional responses, particularly perhaps for some of you within the soul family dynamic, within the blood family dynamic, is going to come to light again around that full moon. And honestly, you're going to find yourself saying, like, I am so tired of this, like, I need to deal with this, because I think there's this awareness that it is a block, or it is something that is preventing you from moving more deeply and more powerfully in the direction of something that is really important to you. So a dream or a desire, an ambition, a goal is being not thwarted, but it's definitely being heavily influenced because of something that you have that's tracked back perhaps to something that needs to be addressed, connected into inner child or to a previous experience. And You know, remember, Black Moon Lilith is like the dark, shadowy, you know, energy in the corner that we just want to keep avoiding and no one wants to go and face up to. But when we do, what we find is actually we become more powerful than we ever have before. Okay. So that full moon again coming in with a revelation, something that is important to understand. It also brings a conclusion as we see that 10 arriving, so helping you to draw a line under something, again perhaps family connected. High Priestess, love this for you at the center of your reading. Very powerful. Queen of Swords, Queen of Fire, High Priestess. It's just like, you know, no one's pulling the wool over your eyes. You know, there's a very powerful kind of psychic awareness and a capacity to articulate and communicate what you are feeling, what you are picking up, the downloads that are coming through for you. And again, that's super supportive as you look to improve the conditions around you. It means that you are going to find that you're able to have more tricky, difficult, or intense conversations, because how you position it will be, it's not necessarily like well received, but more understood. Like people will more get where you're coming from. You're also the custodian, the caretaker, the guardian of something incredibly important this month. Again, it could be to do in, you know, something that feels legacy. You know, something that, you know, is from old and it needs protected. It needs to have somebody looking out for it and saying, actually, you know, this is, you know, the integrity of this matters. So you might find yourself, you know, that could translate even in from a work capacity or, you know, how something is done. Yeah, you're going to get very enthusiastic and very focused and directed towards how the way that something needs to be done. All right, it needs to be done right, and that sort of code of conduct, if you like, you know, that standard that you put in place, even though it might be difficult, even though it might have you kind of wishing that you hadn't signed up to something or that you hadn't agreed or committed or expressed it, actually in the long run it's really going to be the right thing, and you'll see that. I feel like you're, you know, almost being led and directed and guided, you know. And there's something about October of this energy of like time traveling, and I selected the time traveling oracle this month because it just felt this really powerful influence of how much we're just going to be moving through these dimensional experiences, especially when you're taking time to meditate, to connect and to work spiritually, right? Your High Priestess is going to be supportive of that. So you're going to be pulling information and messages and guidance and direction from all sorts of places that, you know, perhaps you've never tapped into before, kind of cosmically and celestially. Nine of Staffs is saying, you know what, keep going. This is why I'm saying the perseverance, or, you know, just pushing through with something really matters. You need to clear the air, okay? It may be that some words are spoken or something is said. Again, that could be this dynamic going on with the two energies coming through here. Even if it's not two women, you know, it could just be how the energy is being expressed. There's a lot of fire and passion and energy, but there's also somebody that's got some quite sharp, curt words to say, perhaps things that need to be said, but at some point we need to clear the air with regards to this. I think there's also some sense of uncertainty or wandering around trust for something, and, you know, particularly, you know, as we sort of come out of that full moon, I think you're really questioning maybe where your loyalties lie, or whether you can trust, perhaps even in a message that you're receiving for yourself, your own gifts even. You know, don't be surprised if you have a little bit of a wobble or a doubt through the course of this month. But, you know, as we move into Scorpio season from the 22nd, remember your second house gets lit up, and here it's like, how am I going to demonstrate this value that I know I bring to the table? How do I bring form to the ideas? How does my abundance reflect like what I know I'm worth? So it's not a surprise that you might have some of these doubts coming in. And remember, the way that Lilith is working with you right now is also like, we do the discomfort, uncomfortable things, and then we get the reward of the empowerment and fully stepping into the essence of all that we are, right? So Scorpio season comes in and it feels like it's shaping and molding and kind of directing this path, and I feel like a bit of resistance that comes from you with regards to that. You might even feel like, I am just in this void and I don't know where I'm going, or I don't know what this means, or I have this sense of like, I thought I was meant to move and now I'm not meant to, and, you know, as in move, take an action step. But I want you to know that the sort of the clarity comes, and it comes in quite a booming way. Like, it's a strange word to say, but it's what they give me. It's just like this loud kind of booming. Whether that comes through sort of meditatively, or there's just a noise or some sort of significant visceral kind of feeling or experience that happens, but this boom, like, this is what it feels like, right? And then it's just kind of like a wake up, you know. So it's almost like you're in a trance-like state period, you know, for a period. You might even feel yourself a bit kind of going checked out on something, and then all of a sudden, like, you come back into reality and you're like, wow, okay, you know, this is what needs to be done. Remember, of course, you know, October, really powerful time when the veil is at its thinnest. We're going to welcome Samhain, we're going to welcome Halloween coming in on the 31st. And you have the capacity, that's what I'm saying, like this time traveling, this ability to transcend and, you know, to connect with your guides, with the team that is working with you most powerfully at this time. So the rituals that you put in place, but also extra protection is always needed. And the Nine of Wands tells me if you're not careful and you don't protect your energy well this month, you're going to get hit hard with that. So there might be some really powerful psychic drain or energy depletion that comes in when you least want it or need it. Okay, so just be really diligent and consistent with showing up from that capacity. Okay, there's a point in time where I hear you saying enough is enough. Enough is enough, okay? But I think, as I said, this is a very compelling month ahead. Now, if you're new to the channel, the last 3 cards we're going to cover in the extended version of my reading. I talk for another 30 minutes. We look at a personal card, a relationship card for you, and dig deeper into what else we can unearth for this month ahead. So I hope you'll join me. You're going to find a link for that in the comment and description box underneath. I am going to go ahead and just clarify these cards, see the direction that we're going to be taking this. Now, I hope that you have seen and perhaps already ordered or had a look at the new journal that I've created that has added to my collection of the book and the deck. So the Life Soul Vision journal is now available for order, and it's going to be delivered in November. This is like not anything you've got in your collection so far. You know, I really wanted to create something that was almost going to act more like a soul Bible for you, you know, that would complement other planners and journals that you use. Something that you're going to constantly reference back to because it holds such key information about you, your experience, your soul journey. So please check it out, Labour of Love. And as always, you know, creating these sacred tools to support you in your spiritual journey. Beautiful clarifiers coming through here for you. Okay, what do we have with this 10 of coins? You know, Vesta, asteroid goddess, also shifts into your sign on the 26th. So, you know, we're going to have all these planetary and goddess energies supporting you through this month, you know, giving you extra power, extra radiance, and I think extra ability to devote to the things that really matter and are super important for you. Wands and the Empress. Okay, beautiful. So you're going to find the journal and obviously other ways to work with me and things that I have created over on my website, romywiser.com. The link is below, so please do check it out. Libra, I'm just going to go ahead and just use Life Soul Vision Oracle now and clarify some of these cards for us. All the decks are always listed below. We have got soul stories, of course we do. We have the Spirit Bear Ancestral Protection, beautiful for October as we celebrate Samhain, Halloween. Spirit Crane, Dance with the Divine. There's always like a degree of sort of frenzy and almost like lunacy, I think, that comes in around this time, you know. But if you really anchor and ground, it's such a beautiful time to connect. Solstice, root energy, there we go. There's our eclipse revelations. I mean, it's going to open the month like powerfully for you, right? Compelling, like I said. Now let's have a look at the Crowl Oracle. What message do we have that we will look at more in the extended for Libra? Abundance, that's a nice one to show up. And quickly, like the Time Traveler's Oracle, where are we heading? What's the destination that has something to share with you for October? Uluru in Australia, grounded, love that. Okay, thank you for being here. Have a beautiful solar returns this month. Enjoy October and all that it brings. Hopefully you'll come onto the extended. Please check my journal out. I love and appreciate you, and I will see you again next time.